Hello, everyone, and welcome to Leonardo 103 Generative AI Masterclass. My name is Joel. I'm from the Leonardo education team, and I'm here today with Jessie, our senior creative technologist. So we've got an awesome session planned for you today. It's the third of our webinars that we've been working on for you all. Um, uh, we have people from the Leonardo team in the comments. I'll be in the comments as you go. If you have any questions, we should be able to answer them. Otherwise, we might be able to bring them up later in the Q&A. But the focus of today's session will be a demo that Jessie will be leading. Before we get started, I want everyone to know that we'll be running another webinar next month, Leonardo 104, which will be focused on our Teams platform for business. I'm just going to post it now as a comment here and pin it to the top. You can sign up to that session at any point, yeah, and we really encourage you to do so. We've really been enjoying the webinars, and we hope that you have too. Yes, the session will be recorded and it will be posted onto YouTube later on. I'm going to give you a very, very brief overview of today's session before we get started. This is our advanced session. It's intended for people who have a little bit of a background with Leo, who maybe have potentially attended one of the last two webinars and have been using the platform for a little while. We'll start by focusing on Phoenix, do a little introduction there, move into some of the advanced features of Phoenix, which is our foundational model, which has really amazing prompt adherence and a whole bunch of other features that Jessie will get into. And then we'll round things out by doing a bit of an image guidance workflow. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Jessie, who's going to take it from here. Jessie.
Beautiful. Good morning, everybody. Afternoon, good night, whichever time zone we're on. So this class that we built today is specifically focusing on Phoenix, mainly because my creative workflow has entirely changed. Like the way that I create work has fundamentally shifted and changed. And so for people who've got used to, say, the describe with AI function or the edit with AI function, this is kind of like how I create work now. I think it's the most seamless workflow that we've got to date. And so I'm really going to go through it all with you. Right, so Joel, if you just want to jump to my screen, I'm just going to kick us off with what we're going to start the morning with. So it's going to be an introduction to Phoenix, so how to use it, is our foundation model, like we mentioned, and a quick look at the interface. So let's get started, and I'm going to jump straight into platform, and we can go and have a look at what I'm working on. Okay, cool. I'm just going to send out one more of these. Okay, cool. So for anybody who is new to Leo, this is our homepage interface. When you kind of come to the page, this is what you're going to see. Down here on the left, this is all our magic tools. We're also seated right up the top. Now today, we're just going to be focusing on image generation predominantly. So I'm going to jump into image gen and we can get started for that. So if you're looking to create any sort of imagery, that really happens in image generation. We've got motion capabilities there, real-time canvas, one of my favorites, like a doodly one, real-time generation, canvas editor, if you want to go fix anything up or clean anything up, and then our universal upscaler, which is excellent for making pictures top quality. Okay. So here we have our image gen interface. Now to the left, this is where a lot of your very important settings exist. Up the top here is your prompt bar. This is an important section as well. And then hidden over here with the magic stars, this is your other really important section. So there's three kind of main areas for working on things. Now, since we're working predominantly in Phoenix today, I'm not going to get into image guidance. We're just going to have a look at Phoenix specifically. So this is where I would turn it on as platform preset. I'm pretty sure it's set as, or it's an automatically it's set to Phoenix. So if you want to try a different model, you would pick a different one. So there we go. We've got that selected there. Now, another interesting thing with Phoenix is this prompt enhance. Now, the reason this imagery comes out so bloody good every single time with very little, I suppose sometimes you don't need to put much work in, is because we have this automatic prompt enhancing. So if I say something incredibly simple or very basic, the system is going to go and take control and fix it up for me, try and make it a bit better to suit its own kind of desired outcomes. if I am a creator who is very, very stuck in my way, it was like, I want a very particular thing and I don't want any help or assistance, please don't deter from exactly what I've given you. You can turn that off. Okay. So I think definitely having this on is helpful. We've done a little experiment between the difference between on and automatic. We'll do a little demo shortly to show you the difference. Pretty much it's just a different way of turning your prompt into something else. And so we also have one other way of doing this, which is in the stars here with improve prompt. Okay, so you know what? Let's just do it now. I'll give a visual explanation. So if I go and say, okay, a yellow balloon. Let's say that my prompt is, I want a yellow balloon. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit sick today, so I got a nice little throw there. Okay, so yellow balloon. Let's just go and run it with prompt off. Okay, so if I go and say specifically that, this is the outcome that I'm going to get. Now, if I have prompt enhance on, this is what you're going to get instead. Now, what we're going to pay attention to is this. This is what it is just changed. So instead of a yellow balloon, it said a bright sunny yellow balloon suspended in midair. It's smooth around the surface, reflecting the subtle highlights with a delicate sheen and a slight cross in the stem against a soft creamy white background, blah, 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 blah. It's got an added feathers. It's got this kind of like floatiness to it. And so as you can see, there's a stark difference between this one and this one. I've just realized I was on dynamic. Oh well, it'll be okay. Okay, so that is a little different set where if I put it on automatic, let's see what our result is with this one. Okay, so now it's going to turn my prompt into a bright yellow balloon with slightly wrinkled inflated texture suspended in midair against a creamy white background, taking center, blah, 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 rounded edges and a tied knot visible, etc. Okay, so this again is a different result. So as you can see, you're going to be getting different kind of outcomes depending on what workflow you do. So if we go here and go improve prompt, on this one, this is again another way of developing a prompt. So a vividly fading yellow balloon itself is speckled with patches of gold and amber. Right now, it almost feels like a bit of a roulette in the sense of like where it kind of goes with these. You'll notice that a yellow balloon could be a million and one options. You know, had I said a yellow balloon, a child holding a yellow balloon in a park, wearing a purple dress. If I had done that as my basic entry, so say a child wearing a purple dress holding a yellow balloon. Now, because I've given more information, it is going to go, it has more to work with. It's able to kind of like build out upon that. So I think these are just like fun different ways to kind of understand and experiment with if you are using these kind of automatic functions. Sometimes you're going to get different results, and it's kind of fun to see the different results that you can kind of go with. Cute. Okay, cool. Now let's go into the next section, which is the preset style. So this is some pretty important stuff. Okay, let's go into this. So yeah, so this one here is your preset style. So if we have a look at here, as you are probably familiar with your presets all existing over here, and like if I go to illustration, I've got all these like 3D render, I've got an anime style, or if I want like cinematic over here, then I'm gonna have fashion, blah, blah, blah. With Phoenix, all of those similar things are sitting here in your preset styles. And so you're able to go and select any of these if we wanted like a fashion outcome, if we wanted an illustration outcome, if you want macro photography. So for people who are kind of new to the concept of a preset, pretty much it's giving you an advantage of getting the desired outcome that you want at the end. So if I know, for example, this one, like if I want this yellow balloon to be a 3D render. So if I go a 3D render of a yellow balloon. Gosh, it's 2,000 balloon. Okay, good. So I would go and put it on a 3D render, and the outcome is probably going to be quite different. I've got auto on, I've run this. Okay, cool. So now the result, and you can see over here in the kind of information at the back end, you can always see which preset it was running on. I had dynamic set on before. I am a big fan of dynamic. Oh my gosh, that is a scary balloon. Holy moly. Okay, well, I wasn't expecting that. That's fun. That's wild. Okay, so it's gone and turned my prompt into this kind of like really like fun charactery outcome. Whereas have I gone and put on say something like this, improve prompt over here, you're going to get a different outcome again. So totally feel confident to kind of play with these different styles, like see what the outcome comes. And again, this is I use the word lazy, but lazy is the wrong word. This is a lazy way of working. And like if I wanted to be very clear with what I wanted, I would just articulate it in words. If I'm still at the kind of a bit of like YOLO phase, like I don't really mind what I get, this can be a good way of working. So as you can see, that's got almost like a 3D V-Ray kind of aesthetic to it because I'd set the preset to over here. Okay. Now we've got the difference between fast and quality. So here we go. Great. I mean, I use quality gens when a lot of the work I do gets like exhibited. So I need it to have a high quality. Whereas if I'm working fast and rapidly, fast mode is really, really great as well. So it depends, but it's just like I'm pretty sure it's just a different diffusion process. So, but the fast mode's great as well. Quality is awesome if you want really beautiful outputs. And then your image gen, your dimensions sit there. Again, you can choose up to 8 images if you want to. I think 8, to me, you can run 8 at a time. I don't really feel a need to because a lot of my process is iterative in the sense that I want to just see if it's close. And then if it's kind of close, I'm going to build again. So that's just what's needed there. And in the advanced, you'll notice that Phoenix is turned on. Okay, that is the general intro to the interface. So that, yes. So let me just go into my slides. I just want to make sure we're running at a pace that everyone can follow me along with. Okay. So that was our intro to the interface. Now, the next bit we're going to get into is advanced workflows. So this is the bit of actually, okay, so we know where things exist. What do we do next? And for me, that is using this Edit with AI feature. Now, Edit with AI has completely changed how I work. And I'm hoping that it's probably going to change how you work as well. So let's get into that phase. And then after we go with Edit AI, we're going to go and describe with AI. Describe with AI as a creative has been the most helpful thing. Now, if you imagine, say, looking at, anything, going to like looking at a picture and trying to figure out how to describe it. Even my own work, when I look at my own art or my own images, it's like, how do you describe what I'm seeing in a way that a computer or a system can understand? And so this is a really helpful way of getting AI to kind of do computer vision imagery, like go and have a look at an image and be able to tell us what it's seeing back. Really, really helpful for being able to understand language. Language is critical for this kind of workflow. So yeah, it's awesome. So let's get into it. Okay, I was making some fun little worlds before, so I might just start with something a bit silly. I'm going to put it on maybe like creative, and I'm going to say, let's go 3 abstract forms. 1 a fluffy diamond or fluffy green diamond. 1 actually I usually just use numbers. Okay, look at that. And second, we're gonna do like a pink glossy lightning bolt, and a third we'll do green, pink, and maybe like orange, and orange. What's that thing with patchwork cube. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, either improve prompt or auto. Let's run an auto, and then let's also quickly just run a improve prompt. You'll notice the speed that this can generate out. It's unbelievable. Like I put it on quality. Well, the fast mode is just so fast in the way that it works. So yeah, I really recommend like playing with the 2 different versions. You'll sometimes get like different outcomes as well, different outputs with your aesthetic. So it can be fun to play with. I just want to get them started so now we can get into the fun of Edit with AI. Okay. Yeah, so fast mode obviously beat us. Okay, so this is my like first little outcome. They're kind of weird, kind of cute. I've got some shapes. I'm just going to wait for this second one to render and see what I get because I have a feeling the other one's going to be more what I wanted. Okay, as those load, I'll just quickly show you what, okay, these are cool. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, these are fine starting place for me. So this workflow that I'm going to take us on today, I want it to be quite interesting. So this button here, Edit with AI. Okay. Now this is like if you know when you get gens and you're just like, oh God, I just wish her hair was different, or I just wish that hand was different, or oh, I wish that the jacket was green, or blah blah blah. This is it. This is where you do it. So I'm going to say, because I want to build this out into a world. I want these cool, quirky shapes and build out into a world. So I'm going to say, what would you like to change? I want to say make more vibrant. I think, actually, you know what? I'll keep it. I'll say use these shapes to make a new world. And then I'll be like abstract universe. If I can spell. Okay, cool. Now, what you'll notice is this little used fixed seed. Now, seeds are really, really important for kind of like any sort of iterative process. So to get an idea, and you can find them here. So in this little dot over here, it'll say copy seed, or you can find the seed, or you can get your generation information there. Pretty much what a seed is just a callback to the source material. So this is going to be our source material. So I want to make sure that this is where I started. With this next future gen, I want it to kind of look similar to that, and we're going to build out upon it. Now, had I used this seed, because I can copy this seed and I can put it down here in this advanced setting. So use fixed seed, and when I can generate new things using this like information. If we copy the seed, it's like a number, you put it there. And so then if I now go and do any other prompts, if I go and type a different prompt, so I don't know, sunshine and a balloon, whatever, it's going to go and create it using that fixed seed. So the aesthetic's going to be the same. So these are really helpful information for kind of like if there's a look that you love with a series, you can either use the style reference, which we're going to do at the end, or you can use this seed information for regenerating. And even if you did it like months and weeks ago or whatever, like the seed exists, it's the source material. So it's really helpful. Okay, cool. So this has kind of taken my initial idea and built something out. It's fine, but I want it to be way more fun. I want to go way more fun, way more extreme. Let's see what we can get next. So my workflow is now building out and upon and on this thing. Now I just want to show you an example I did yesterday. Okay, so I had this shape. I had these shapes. I like them. They're like these quirky kind of like abstract, cute little things that I was building. And then I was like, yeah, that's awesome. But with Edit with AI, I said, okay, that's great. Now turn it into a world. So those initial shapes that I had, I've now gone and built like a cute little fluffy world. And I was like, oh, that's great. But I want to go out. I was making a video. I was making a music video. And so I was like, okay, cool. So like go further, and I'd say go wider, build out more, make more, show me more, build it into a universe, build it into a space, go further out, zoom out, go wider. And so all these prompts, you can see, I went to the galaxy, there we go. Didn't love the dragon ones, but I was able to just like take my initial idea and just go crazy with it, and I built out this entire like galactic space universe thingy from it, and it was really, really, really fun. So I think those are kind of building here. Oh, wrong interface. Let me just reload that. Okay, cool. So yeah, these are kind of building. I think it's made it more fun. I agree. That's probably a bit more fun. I don't love it. I'm going to say, make a city from these shapes, something like that. Okay, so now if you were doing a different project, if you were making more of like, maybe you're making a poster or something with text or whatever your task was, like an advertisement. What is that noise? Is that my noise? Oops, sorry. Joel, would you mind turning your thing on mute for a second? I've just got a lawnmower in my ear. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's, as those load out. So this is kind of that functionality of like go wider, go wider, go wider, which are really, really fun ways of working. Now, sorry. Okay, they're loading that. Can I get a time as well, Joe? I can't hear you. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, great. So, awesome. So, Joe, can you turn your microphone off? I can't hear. It's just a truck. Joel, can you turn your audio off? What is that sound? Oh my God, it's someone in my garden. Okay, sorry everybody. Okay, so this is, Okay, cool. So this is our world that we've kind of built out, and we can go as far, we can go further with it. We can get more abstract, we can get more detailed. But let's go into doing our next function, which is describe with AI. So I might go and take one of these ones. This was a similar kind of world. I'm going to download this one. Okay, let's go and deal with that. Now, the next way of working, which I absolutely adore, and this is our like kind of the way that I work now, is describe with AI. So this is what we can open up, and I can go and get this thing which I was working on. Okay, so you can go and pull this in with describe with AI. This is loading. Okay, and what you'll get is a new prompt that is generated. So if we go and find this thing here. Amazing. So it has gone and said that image, so let's go have a look at this image. Like, how would you describe this picture? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know how to articulate this. It's like wild, wonderful world with shapes and abstract forms. But it's gone and said that it's a surreal fantasy style digital artwork featuring a vibrant, otherworldly landscape. The layout includes reflective winding river in the center. It's surrounded by unusual color and trees and floating spheres, etc. And so we're able to kind of see, like, it's kind of like this idea of it's seeing what imagery you're giving it to kind of build and work upon. Let me find another one as another example. I mean, these are quite fun as well. Okay, so if we go and let's go take this one. Just fun. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. So it's similar, right? It's gonna made this like fun, pretty world. Which is similar in its forms. You'll notice that the colors are different. Now, if I had wanted the colors to be the same, I can do a thing called a style reference. Now, we've previously done style reference with image guidance, but we'll definitely go through it later today. But these are kind of fun and magical. So if we go and say, I'm going to say zoom out wider. What's it, like an aerial shot? Aerial shot. Let's go and have a look what we can get with that. And we can, take this and build it into kind of like another space. So if you're building out like a specific scene, these are really, really fun ways of working, or anything that requires like a seed, like anything that you want to like have a consistent series. It's just great. It's a great way of working. Okay, these are kind of fun. They're kind of like, it's giving very like Dr. Seuss vibes right now. I like it. And I'm going to do one more. I'm going to say, zoom out even further, expansive sky. I don't know. Let's go something like that. And the more that you play with Edit AI, like you will kind of get used to what works and what doesn't work. And so like things like way more, like it loves way more. Like if you're like, no, like more colorful, like more loud, more friendly, more this, you can kind of like build these really fun spaces. So I think some of these are quite good. They're kind of cute. But what I also want to do is do some style reference stuff. So if we have this, now this is just the only thing, I just don't want to confuse people, but the only difference is right now, Phoenix isn't compatible with image guidance just right now, but it definitely will be very soon. So just for the sake of this experiment, I'm just going to put it into cinematic for the sake of the workflow. But very shortly, these will be deeply compatible. So anyway, so we're in this. This is where you've got this little magic starter over there. This opens up your image guidance. Now, we have gone through this in a previous demo, so hopefully this is a bit more familiar to people. But let's show you what I am going to do for this. Now, this is really, so cool. Okay, so let's just, before I do that, quickly go into style consistency. So so this is for style consistency. Now, style consistency, you can either do using like seeds and creating a workflow that has this like seed thing, like all of it consistent, but maybe you've done something using say a different maybe you've created a series using a different format, like not in Phoenix, you've built it somewhere else, or you maybe have images from maybe a photographer and you have like your body of work that you want to use, and that doesn't have a seed, like only generated work has seeds. So So style consistency, there's multiple ways of achieving that using image guidance and style reference instead. So that can be a helpful way of working if you prefer, like if you need an option like that. Okay, so just to give you an example of what what we're going to do with this aesthetic. So so if you have a look at these ones, right? This was like I did this in post. Like this was after I'd figured out which color I wanted. So the first versions that I'd made were actually all of these ones. Like I thought this was the color palette that I was going to be working to. But then I was like, no, I think we need this bolder thing. And so I ended up just doing a style reference, which took this is the content reference. So the images as a content reference, then a different consistent image as a color palette. So if you want consistency across all of your shots, you will use the same style reference on all of your different things. So let's do that. So let's go into style reference. And I want, what aesthetic do we want? I might put it on. I was doing some fun little things yesterday. I kind of liked these. I thought these were fun colors. Maybe that. Or maybe that. I don't know. Let's choose. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, let's do the purple one. So there's differentiation. Okay, I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to have the star reference probably on like ultra, maybe. Now, what I'm also going to do, because I don't know how to articulate this. Like I don't know how to describe this image. I'm going to use describe with the AI for the image that I'm creating as well, right? So I'm going to do content reference. Let's go grab one of the gens. Let's do, I thought this one was kind of fun. Okay, let's do that one. And now describing that image would be really hard for me to do. Like I don't really know how to do that. So instead I'm going to put this one on and we go chuck that there. Now, because I've got the style reference at ultra or max, it shouldn't be that specific to the colors because this will mention the color. Does it mention? Shades of pink, blue, green striking. No, that'll work. It'll be fine. Okay, so I will put that there and I'm just going to run it so you have an understanding of what I'm doing right now. Okay, cool. So the content reference is where you put like the thing that you're trying to mimic or copy, and then the star reference is the color grade that you want to do. So if we're going to build a series, if I go and build, let's just say that works, and then I'll go and do the next slide. So then I would be like, okay, content reference, next part of my animation or whichever I'm going to do. So let's go and say we're going to do this one. Okay, and then I would go and put that same one as my describe with AI to make sure I've got the thing articulate. So maybe, oh God, I can't remember which one I picked. Oh no, was that one? So this one? Oh my God, I can't remember. Oops. Okay, so it's going to go quickly go and find the thing. And I'm going to run that again. Okay, so what you'll see is the colors have changed, right? So this is cool because now I can go and have like my initial base this. So it was these cool like fun pink and blue things that I had initially. And now I can go and do like whichever kind of aesthetic or world or color palette or color grade you want to get. Now, this is just like a general random workflow. It's really, really, really fun because you get results that you like definitely like can't predict. You probably wouldn't have even thought about it. And all of a sudden your images can get so much more interesting and exciting and weird and quirky. So yeah, definitely like I encourage you to play around with these different stuff and these different features. If you wanted, if we're going to try like a different, let's go and try a different color palette, just as something totally different. Actually, here we go. This will be a good experiment. Let's go take that yellow balloon we were doing earlier. Okay, so if I want to go and have scrub with AI, I'm going to go get one of those yellow balloons. Maybe if we go and have this one, that one's all right. I don't know. Sure. I know. Look, let's just be plain yellow. Let's go plain yellow balloon. Okay, so I'm gonna get my balloon. So it's gone and written my prompt, tells me what the thing was. Okay, I'm gonna get content reference. I'm gonna go get my balloon. If I remember which one it was. I think I literally can't remember. Oh yeah, that one. Okay, good. And now let's make that balloon some other funky color. So let's go get maybe like what's something it's going to, I think to get a distinct result, I'll just give you one of these ones. This will give you something funky. That's kind of going to be edgy. Okay, let's get this one. And I'm going to put it maybe at a high. Oh, just lost my balloon. Go get my balloon. Whoops. And yeah, so a lot of these workflows that I do, a lot of like I love experimenting. Like I think that is kind of like a really fun way to get outcomes that you probably weren't predicting. So there's nothing more that I love like when you go in and I do maybe something random like this, like a star reference. I'm like, oh God, I hadn't even thought about that. Like that's awesome. Yeah, it's a really, very, really fun way of working. Okay, once that finishes off, I think I'll quickly just show you some of my finishing touches. Okay, so yeah, so that balloon has gone and taken inspiration from this to do the color grade. Now I had that at like a middle. If I put it at max, it's going to push it. It'll probably break it a bit, but let's go see what the outcome that we get. But this is a really fun way to just like add like funkiness to your work. Definitely like this isn't even upscaled. So if we like upscaled it, which one? Yeah, that one's kind of cool. So we can just do an upscale. Sure, run that there. That'll pop up here soon. So upscaling is just to make like a high res version of an image. I usually do it over in Universal Upscale. I love Universal Upscaler, but this is another way of doing it as well to get like a quick result and just see if which one was better. Yeah, so I have the cinematic. I have cinematic on at the moment as my model, so you're going to be getting this kind of like photorealism balloon. I mean, that's cool and funky. Cool. Something weird. I put it on ultra, so things will usually break if you make it like. Oh, sorry, I put it on max. Yeah, so I put it to the maximum. But yeah, that's just like a different kind of way of making things. Now I know we're just towards the end, so let's maybe just take one of these so I can wrap you up with some final touches. Maybe if we go and take this one, that one's kind of fun. Okay, so let's go into Universal Upscale. So this is where I would come to finish any and all of my kind of like work before I present. Oh, I did really like that one. Here we go. Let's grab this one. Maybe which one? That's kind of fun. Maybe this. Okay. Got that. Okay, so Universal Upscaler, we've got to put it here. I'm going to put it on. So this is like where you set which model it says you've got either general, illustration, cinematic, or game assets. This is like so multimedia, multimedia, whatever. I might put it there. 5 is kind of the baseline standard. It just means creativity strength kind of means like how far do you want to go versus like how close do you want to be to your original versus how creative can I go with it? And that means in the sense of like adding details and adding extra lines and that kind of stuff. If you put it very high, sometimes images can what I call break, which just means like it distorts it. But if you want weird, quirky, bizarre things, that's kind of cool. Or if you have it really, really close, so that's going to be very clear to your initial thing. I'm just going to put it on 5 because that's our standard average. And we'll go and quickly see if we can get some different outcomes. So you render it out. You could also get an idea of what the pixel dimensions are going to be, which is really helpful if you're working in, I don't know, any sort of like, I don't know, marketing, advertising. If you're going to print the thing out, it's kind of helpful to know dimensions as well. And depending on your like dimensions of the thing. So this is like if you have like a rectangular image versus like a square or something, or different things. Also with tokens, because we generated this in the feed, like that's going to be different to bringing out a different image. So if we have a quick zoom in, I don't know if you guys can see the difference with this, but I can. Here we go. Let's go have a look at this. Like the difference in the grass is really distinct, or whatever that thing is, the thing, and the sand. If we go have a look at the sand here. Whoop, zoom in. Yeah, so it's like a really nice render on the ball thing, and it's gone and added almost like a gloss to it. It would be interesting to see the difference between this versus if I go and put it on, let's just do a quick experiment. I might bump it up to an 8. It's probably going to get a bit funky. You'll get like a lot of dots because we like to add all the detail, but that's like a beautiful gloss. Like that's bloody gorgeous. I like the reflection on the water as well. Oh, and the stars. Nice. Okay, so also we're going to go from that. I'm going into motion. I just want to like finish this up for the day. So let's go into motion. So this, I can actually create motion directly from my upscaler, which is awesome. So I press that, and this will pop up my motion strength. And this is kind of like where the intensity of the movement comes from. So if I have it quite low, you'll maybe get like a little bit of reflection or a little bit of like a water wash in the water or something. Or if I bump it up here, it could get real quirky and things will kind of clash into each other. I'm gonna, for the sake of an experiment, put it on 8 and we'll just go and see what we get from that. Okay, so that's got sent to my image gen feed. So if you're like, where is my video? It's in the image gen. That's where most of your stuff will exist, over in there. Let me just have a quick double check. Yeah, so this one's been what I call broke, but I actually like this one. I actually think this one works better. Yeah, this one works way better. Okay, so this is up at an 8. Damn, that's cool. Okay, cool. So let's go and have a look at all these things. You also know that I put this on cinematic. So I think because it's on cinematic, it's really adding like the reflection in the water. It's adding like the details like in the I don't know what this is called, like the bush, the shrub, and awesome reflections. Like that in itself, I think is a really cool picture. So rad. Okay, yeah. So definitely like play with your upscaling. If you get a result like one, like you can see at the bottom down here, like I do multiple versions of I do multiple attempts to try and get the thing that I want it the right way. So yeah, don't be afraid of doing multiple gens. This one worked out way, way, way better with the high creative strength. So that's cool. I like that picture. That's fun. Okay, so let's quickly go and see what our little video looked like. And then I think we're almost wrapped. Okay, here is our finale little video. Super cool. Okay, beautiful. That's kind of fun. Oh my God, I'm going on a little trip through this weird island land that we have created in under an hour. So yeah, if you imagine, like, say I was going to make a music video, if I took that series of assets, so let's go look at that whole world that I built. Like you could animate each of these things, like zooming out to make these like weird, quirky kind of like worlds, doing some sort of like zoomy pan thing. Like I think you could see quite easily how that would turn into a whole sequence. And yeah, and like this was really, really fun and multi like lots of different steps. So in summary, before we wrap, I just want to quickly do a quick summary of the most important things. So let's go back to Phoenix because that's where we're playing today. Okay, it's your prompting, it's your preset, so setting the right preset for the aesthetic that you want. And then it comes in with, you've also got your describe with AI. Super important. Definitely use this. Like seriously, this is awesome. This was like a picture that I was doing. Here we go. Let's do some bacon and egg stuff. Or if I took I like this picture. So describe with AI. This is one of my pictures that I made. So I'm like, okay, how do I articulate this picture? What is this picture? And it will go and turn it into words. Great. I know this is fashion, so I'm just going to quickly chuck that on a fashion preset. We rendered that out. And it's going to go and tell me, so it's got a high fashion editorial image featuring 2 male models standing side by side. They start talking about the clothes. They start talking about the models and their body language as just like a little final farewell. I just want to show you the difference between that. Okay, so we've got our boys. They're there. They're facing each other. They've got this cool jacket. Fashion design is my next career path, guys, obviously. And so we've got these cool jackets, and I'm gonna say make them friends. Here we go, make them friends. Let's and like the body language that I can expect to see the difference between 2 models versus 2 friends. I would predict the outcome is going to be significantly friendlier. And it's also cool if you want to do like you can, so emotion is super important. Again, if you're doing like a seed of a series, say you have a character or you have a thing or whatever you want that can to be consistency, you would just be seeding. So cute. Oh my God, guys, they're besties. Yeah. Okay, that's super cool. Okay, so you can see that was just make them friends. And now they're friends. And I'm gonna say maybe like, I don't know, oh, full body. How about full body? I want to see what the full body shot. I want to see the base of their clothes. Now I haven't told them what the pants look like. So it's probably just gonna like YOLO based off what I've like the current aesthetic. But if I did want to, I could be like do a full body shot, like make sure they're wearing cool ripped jeans, like make them walking towards me, like make them doing these things. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's gonna done like a little zoom out thing. Oh, these pants are fun. That's very like eating. Now you want to go sit at dinner. Okay, let's go. Do you want to be maybe like at a food truck? Oh, say make the background scene at a food truck. like a food. Let's see what this happens. So you can add details. Like, it's so fun. Like, this edit with AI thing is honestly like such a fun way of working, and also because you get immediate results. So I think the difference of like working in fast mode versus quality mode, like definitely sometimes there's like a pros and cons of different stuff. Oh my god, this is sick. Okay, cool. So now we've got to put them at this food truck as besties. So cool. And I'm gonna say make them eating like a hamburger, maybe hamburger, make them holding hamburgers, holding hamburgers. I don't know. Let's see what we get from that. But instantly, like, guys, this has been like less than 2 minutes, and we've got this just like ridiculous workflow that we can go and build things out. We can change colors. We can do whatever it is that we need to do with basic language and basic prompts. Nice. Oh my god, yummy. I want to be their friends. Okay, cool. I think this is kind of fun. Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna quickly upscale this in the background because I love it. This is great. This is a great shoot. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go to Q&A for sure. I wanna hear whatever we can do to help out with these workflows specifically.
Thank you so much, Jessie. I've been in the chat as we've been going. Jessie can't actually see the chat, everyone, so I've just kind of been.
I'm with you in spirit.
But it's really been an awesome session, and we've gotten a lot of really great feedback, and we've gotten a lot of really good questions as we've gone. So I've been taking notes, but we're going to do a little Q&A for the next sort of like 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll kind of wrap up on the hour. But so if you have any additional questions, do keep posting them in the chat. The team will be answering. Otherwise, I've taken notes as we went. So one that came up a few times was the examples that you used were kind of more abstract and surreal. At the end, obviously, we used this one that was a little bit more photorealistic. But we had, I think it was Mel who asked, could you show us an example of something that's a little bit more like marketing campaign focused, how you might actually use Leonardo to create something that works for like campaign imagery, be that, you know, like a prototype for campaign imagery or concepting, or something that you might even use in production.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, let's so the Olympics are on at the moment. Should we do something for the Olympics? So I'm going to say let's go and advertising, an advertising poster celebrating. I have a feeling an Australian swimmer won a gold medal yesterday, so let's just roll with it. I'm gonna see if we can do that. So I'm celebrating Australia winning gold medal for swimming at the Olympics. And I'm gonna say maybe like
We've also gotten a couple questions about typography and text. So maybe if there's a way that you can add some text
build this
into this.
100%. Let's build this text base for sure. So they're celebrating Australia winning gold medal for swimming in Elijah. The center text saying gold, Aussie takes the gold. Great slogan. I can't think of anything better. Saying Aussie takes the gold in maybe like in like white bold text with an Australian swimmer, female swimmer, and an Australian swimmer cheering in celebration. Olympics, and put the Olympics like logo. Olympics logo. Oh yeah, actually, there we go. I want the Australian swimmer cheering celebration. Her arms going through an Olympic. In my head, this is like this abstract design, so let's just add through Olympics logo. I'll just get rid of that. And Olympics logo as part of the design. Let's just go with something quirky. I don't know. I'm improving my prompts. I did too many words. Let's see if this is enough. So if you do too many words, improve prompt doesn't work. Why isn't that on? Improve auto's on. So let's see if that does. I'll run it with auto, and then actually I'll put it onto a poster design size as well. Let's go on Instagram dimensions. Okay, just delete that for a second. Okay, so let's run that as that one with auto on, and then I'm just gonna say Olympics. I don't know why that isn't. Okay, improve prompt. There we go. Okay, so here we go. We've gone and got our first pass of a thing. So Aussie takes the gold. Great text adherence. We've got a few more of these different forms. That was all right. This is quite good. Okay, so maybe I quite like this one. This one's quite good. Okay, good. And I might just run one more and see if so I would probably just do a few experiments to see if I could get the base one a bit closer than I want. Also, another workflow, which we covered a little bit in the 102 whenever I did the oranges. Sometimes it's easier. This is not always. Sometimes it's easier if you focus on like getting the text right, like what font you want, like focus on and then focusing on what image you want, and then building a prompt and combining the two. That can sometimes be quite helpful. Here we go. Aussie takes the gold. That's kind of fun.
One thing I would like to point out is like a lot of this stuff, like we're really creating on the fly, you know, making images very, very quickly. And it's very much an iterative approach, right, Jessie? Like it's all about kind of going back in and like trying things again. One thing that's been coming up again and again in terms of something that I'd love to see you demo is character consistency. We didn't touch on it in the main demo. Would you be able to show us how we can create images using a consistent character from something that we have on hand?
Absolutely. Let me just quickly just very quickly before I wrap on this one. If you're focused on doing a text-based poster or anything that's doing that, like chuck it on a graphic design or pop-up or graphic design vector, you're going to get a very, very, very different outcome. Same if you put on illustration or if you put on these different things. So if you are looking for a graphic design text-based outcome, put it on graphic design vector and let's see where we go from that. And then say inspired by Olympics. Okay, I'm just going to run that. I'm going to go auto on. So let's just go and see what we get as this outcome. I'll quickly run. Okay, cool. Yeah. So definitely like depending on what it is as you want for your poster design, like focus on that. So our new prompt we've got is eye-catching professional photo. Rad. I mean, to me, that is something that is usable. That's totally publishable. Yeah, these are great. What you'll also see though is our this prompt is getting used into the design. So we can just very quickly clean that out. If I just go and take that, I'm just going to download that. So Aussie takes the gold, quickly go into our canvas editor. I don't want to confuse people, so I'm just going to do this quickly as like a, just so you have a little idea of how I would clean. Oops, I should have just gone into my thing. Okay. Okay, so we'll come down here. And I'm going to quickly get my painting thing. Go this background. Paint over it. Oops, sorry. And okay. And all of a sudden we've gone and cleaned that out. Okay, done. And I can download my artwork. Yep. Now that picture is good. Oops, sorry. So yeah, you'll notice that the thing has been cleaned out, and that's just using in painting and canvas editor. So that to me, and even this like the Olympic rings down there, we could clean that out as well. If we go with the oops. So we go and put our thing over here, select this, and I'm going to draw a mask over it. Here we go. This might take a few attempts, so usually I would put a bit more time into my cleaning up and editing, but let's just go see if we can get Olympic rings. Oh, I should have done the Olympic logo. This is like a fun way of, yeah, that, that was not going to work. I did the wrong thing. But yeah, so this is a fun way of working. I just know we're really short for time, so I just want to get into that other face thing. But the using Canvas
Thanks,
editor is
Jessie.
where you go and clean things
Yeah,
up.
that was
Okay,
great. So
so
yeah, Canvas editor is like
yeah.
the equivalent of photo editing within Leonardo for doing
Yeah,
these
that's an
kinds of
editing
sort of
one.
fine tuning. Yeah.
Yeah, and let me just quickly, before we finish, I just want to do the character consistency that you wanted to do. So I have been working on a fun little character for the last few days. So let me get my prompt to make sure we have like a cute look for it. Oh God, where are they? There's one. Here I am. Okay, great. So I'm going to go. I'll show you how I made this. So let me just run a prompt. So this started as something as simple. Actually, we could use, here we go. I'll use my describe with AI function. That's what I'll do. I'll go grab it. I'll get someone else's to prove a point. Okay, here we go. This is one of my friends. Okay, so we'll get that one. Okay, so say I was going to do, I wanted to do character consistency and say I had been building out this series and we have this picture. Now you'll notice that this is based off my mate Phoebe, and the gender's different. So let's just so we've got to put in that image, and we've got images of vibrant style portrait featuring a young man with fair skin. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to say a young woman. Got all that. Great. Now, if I wanted to, just for the sake of this experiment, I'm just going to show you how it works. So if we have the content, I'm going to put the content on mid just because I want to make sure that, because we're changing the genders of the characters, I just want to make sure this still works. Okay, and then I'm going to do a character consistency. So I'm going to go and put my face on it. Now, this is a great portrait of me because it takes distinct features. Now, when you pick which picture you use for yourself, I've got this blurry. I took this off my LinkedIn, but you can see that my eyebrows are distinct. My jaw, cheek, nose. Like this is a good picture for character consistency because it gets my quite distinct features. So I think if you're getting a result that isn't good or isn't accurate to you, get a different picture. Okay, so just play around until you get one that really works for you. So I'm just going to quickly change the detail. So a young woman with fair skin, with messy blonde hair. So you can help by really articulating like your details. If you wear sunglasses, if your character does whatever, like speak to those features. So I'm just going to get rid of that. I'll say she is wearing a shirt and that's the background. Okay, cool. Let's just run that and see what we get. Okay. Oh, the dimensions are wrong. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh well. It will matter. Okay, so put that through. Great. And we're able to get these like fun little results. Now, if we wanted to just do something completely from scratch, just so like, for example, I'm going to say a 3D render of a 3D render of a fairy in a tree. God, I don't know. Okay, wow. So these are the character consistencies that we've just run through. Like those are pretty bloody good. So like for me and my likeness, so that's that's impressive.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So yeah, you can see
and
that
then
we've gotten Jessie's face in there pretty clearly.
yeah,
You seem
that's
just
really
asked,
accurate.
why were the dimensions wrong? What someone in the chat asked, why were the dimensions wrong? I think it's just that you wouldn't
It's
have
just
minded using
I
a
wanted.
different time.
Yeah, sorry. No, that was that's me
Just a
being
preference, I
nitpicky.
think.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
preference. No, I was the so you're these still worked because it was doing a crop up. But say if I was doing a content reference or a scene or something, like I don't know, a different thing. If I was, it just depends on what your output is. So for example, I had done, if my content reference was like it was a 16:9 and I had the 1 on, it's just going to crop your outcome. It will just crop it. So you can see here that this is, if you imagine just like a crop, it's just cropped it there. So like when I do image dimensions, I usually want my image dimensions to be reflective of the input that I'm put in. Sometimes we have like the ability to do, like if I was doing an edge to image, for example, let's just, I don't know, bad example, but let's just go take, here we go. We'll go take these shapes.
We might have to make this the last one, Jessie,
Yeah.
just because we're coming on time and I want to
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So because
bit of-
that's, you see, that's like a 16:9. I would set it on 16:9 because otherwise, if I did it on it would just crop it. These are little nitpicky things. Like it's nothing really, but yeah, just setting dimensions is helpful. Also, we have an ability usually. I don't know why I must have some setting wrong. So you can do like a match. If I do content reference preference, you should be able to go match image dimensions. I don't know why I have done something that isn't, but I don't know. Anyway, little nitpicky things, but yeah, they are great and they all work, and they're like, I think this character consistency is insanely good. If this is maybe uncomfortably good, like if this is too good, set the thing lower. So if I go and put my thing on, if I do character reference, this is my little character that I was playing with. She was cute, and then I want to go put on my content reference and put my face on. And if I go and put this on a low, you're going to get a different outcome. Let me just quickly do a describe with AI so I get the result that I want. Okay, cool. I'm going to put this on. I'll show you some different styles as well, because our last thing. Let's just put it on illustration. You're going to get a different outcome to that. Or if I wanted to put on an element, maybe that could be kind of fun. I think we've gone over elements before, but like say if I wanted me to be sparkly, let's go put a sparkle core on. Quick sparkle core. I'm just going to stock it all up. Sure, let's see what we get with this. I would usually put it higher, but or a 3D render. Okay, I'm just going to go and play all day, so I'm getting distracted. Sorry, everybody.
No, thank you so much, Jessie. That was incredible.
Cool.
And it was really awesome to see you walk through those at the end. Sorry, guys, I know there's been a lot of questions in the chat, and you probably have many more. Yeah, and we really, unfortunately, just can't get through them all at this stage. We just don't have the time. But there's a lot to learn when it comes to Leo. But I really encourage you to get amongst the Leonardo community, to join the Discord. That's the place when it comes to asking really, really specific questions around, I had a couple of people asking about book covers, a children's book. Like when it comes to those really specific workflows, that's the best place to ask those questions. So do get amongst there, and you'll find someone who's working on the same project as you, who's faced the same challenges, and who'll be able to help you with the same creative workflow. So just to round things out, post all your creations. We love to see them. Tag Leonardo, #LeonardoLearn. We look at everything that goes on socials that tags us. We like to retweet the best ones. Sign up for the next webinar. I've pinned the comment in the chat, but you can scan the QR code there. It's Leonardo 104, and it's focused on our Teams platform for business and creative projects. So whether you're working on a game, whether you're part of a marketing team, whether you're working on a film, this is a platform for you to be able to collaborate with others on gens, on creative work. It's going to be a really fun one.
Teams is great. Teams is great for professionals. Like I think, as you've quickly seen today, like I have hundreds of gens, and keeping track of all of that is really hard without collections and like folders and organizational ways that Joel and I can work together, because he can access like my gens and like see the seed and maybe like remix off them or build off them. Like I think it's just that next step up for any sort of anyone who works in an agency or enterprise or anything at scale. Like definitely like Leonardo for Teams is just so helpful for that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, like there's so much exciting things out there. Like go through our community creations as well. Like for people who are interested in text today, like you can go and see what this person did to go and create, this really great text, and they've specified, they want like graffiti text and that kind of stuff. So like don't be afraid to go and have a look and see what everyone else is working on and how they got their text so good. Like they've specified, this really well.
Yeah, and if you do want to sign up for Teams right now, Teams is live, so you can scan that final QR code there on the right, and you can get going with a free pilot for you and your organization or your creative team, and start playing around. like Jessie says, it's a really powerful function when it comes to collaborating using generative AI and creative software. Thanks again, everyone. We've gone a couple minutes over time, but really appreciate you all for taking the time to tune in, for using Leonardo, for your incredible comments and feedback. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everybody. Can't wait for 104. I'm so stoked to bring you along in this journey. Amazing. Bye.
Cool. Signing out.